Dear friends, in the last podcast, we had promised ourselves that we shall look into the question, why did President Truman decide to use the atom bomb against Japan, not once but twice? Now, the answer has to be, what shall I say, in many parts. A. President Truman was of the view that having spent $2 billion for the Manhattan Project, the bomb had to be used against Japan. B. President Truman did not care too much for human lives. I am making this statement with a full sense of responsibility, and let me explain why I am saying that. When Hitler attacked the Soviet Union, Operation Barbarossa, Truman, who was at that time a senator, he was overjoyed. He said, "Let these two fight among themselves. To the last man, we shall just watch." That was his attitude. Let me give one or two more explanations for President Truman's attitude. He had shortlisted Japanese cities not to be bombed so that they will be the potential target for the use of the atom bomb, so that America will be able to know the extent of destruction which the atom bomb will cause. And that is why, Nagasaki, Hiroshima, and one or two other cities, they were not bombed for a long time. And one more important consideration. In 1940, America had cracked the Japanese diplomatic code. And in July 1945, the Japanese foreign minister had asked his ambassador in Moscow to ask Stalin to get surrender terms from the Americans. The principal condition which Japan wanted was that the dignity of the emperor should be respected. So, while he was at Potsdam, the conference attended by Truman, his first conference as president, Stalin, Churchill, and there was, of course, Chiang Kai-shek also, though he was not, fully part of the conference. So, at that conference, they discussed Japan, and they made a declaration asking for unconditional surrender of Japan. It had been pointed out to Truman that the word unconditional should not be used because of Japanese fears about the status of the emperor. But knowing that, Truman wanted to use the term unconditional. In fact, a Japanese diplomat who was associated with all this has argued that Truman used the word unconditional to justify his future use of the atom bomb. One more important consideration. Secretary of War Stimson had told Truman that even without use of the bomb, if Soviet Union enters the war, Japan will surrender. Now, as we have seen, on the 8th of August, Soviet Union entered the war. And that is why the Japanese High Council decided to surrender before knowing anything about Nagasaki on the 9th. So there was no need for the second bomb. But Truman was wanting to send a signal to Soviet Union. In fact, what is fascinating is that at Potsdam, when Truman, in a very perky way, announced to Stalin and to Churchill, though he had told Churchill privately earlier that America had a new terrible weapon, little did Truman know that Stalin was already in the know thanks to the spies that he had who were reporting to him about the Manhattan Project. So the conclusion is that, inescapable conclusion is that Truman was keen on using the bomb. As we have seen, he rejected outright the demonstration. Well, he had a note on his table, the buck stops here. Well, he wanted to use the bomb and he did it. That is the long and short of it. Thank you so much. But let us not forget that even according to Truman, if the atom bombs ended the Second World War, certainly the bomb on Nagasaki inaugurated the Cold War because it was a warning to the Soviet Union. And Soviet Union did master the atomic technology, and after a few years we had what is called the MAD situation, mutually assured destruction. Thank you so much.